Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, November 18th at midnight, 2019. The GFS models are in. We have the next 8 days parsed, and it's looking like heavy snow in the Northeast, heavy snow in the West, heavy snow in the upper Midwest. We have record avalanche warnings. 2 skiers have already died early in the season. A third flooding event and cricketball size hail. Holy macaroni. Keep calm. It's boom time. PG&E says power shutoffs possible in the Bay Area this week. 180,000 could be without power. Customers could be impacted primarily in the Sierra Foothills, North Valley, and North Bay. The latest round could happen Wednesday and Thursday. So heads up. Did you get that, Jenny, yet? Winter weather advisories issued for 9 northeastern states. Hello. Looks like New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Boston, Mass, other areas. It's scary as. The main concern is spotty light freezing rain, freezing drizzle into Monday morning, making travels a nightmare for the commute. If you're still stuck in that slavery model, which every person I know is, well, you may have to kill yourself to go to a job that you hate so that you can't see your family. Coastal cities like Boston and Providence will most likely experience rain, but there are regions where there will be a tippy touch of freezing, and that will not be pleasing. Check out your local, well, we'll get to that. Local residents brave the chill on record cold November day. Heads up, Massachusetts, West Springfield. The winter-like weather isn't letting up just yet. In fact, over a month before our official winter, which is December 21st, the solstice, Sunday morning was one for the record books in West Springfield. New record low temperatures set in Chicopee at the Westover Air Reserve Base, where temperatures dropped to 12 degrees, crushing the 16-degree record set back in 1967. Coldest November start on record. Hello, WIFR. The cold hard facts are in, not just for Rockford, Illinois, but for many locations across northern Illinois, the Midwest. November is off to a record cold start by 0.3 degrees. Breaking the 1991 record, solar minimum, and the 1976 solar minimum record, and the 1951 record. Reliable weather records began in Rockford back in 1905, but the November dates only go back to 1950 for some reason. It doesn't matter. All records ever recorded are currently being broken. And that's tonight's first boom to reality. Global warming does not cause this. Period. Pocono ski season begins early thanks to record cold front. Al Gore is nowhere to be seen. Hello. I don't even know how to twist that. Are you prepared? We are. There's your weather outlook. Snow all the way falling in northwest Wyoming. As it comes down in, wow, look at that. Look at Wisconsin continuing to take the hit. And all of the Northeast. Northern Maine is going to get blasted. And then Montana is next. And Idaho. Warnings already issued for southern Utah. And then Nevada, and then our region is going to have the deepest snow. We still do not have a winter storm warning here, where over 2 feet of snow is predicted through Friday morning. Snow in northern Texas, as far south as southern everywhere. Hello, little tippy touch in West Virginia. And then a boom coming in, next weekend. Holy macaroni. Another round. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Coastal storm drifts away from southeast mid-Atlantic. Fire weather concerns remain in Southern Cali as they shut down the power Wednesday and Thursday. In the Bay Area, A strong storm is forecast to drift away from coastal. You want to see my mug? I mean, it's what we're here for. A strong storm is forecast to drift away from coastal regions of the southeast mid-Atlantic today, but a number of hazards will remain in effect. From gusty winds to a variety of marine issues, the storm will bypass the northeast and the breeze from the east on Monday, while producing coastal rain in the interior frozen precipitation. Can I even say that? Meanwhile, elevated to critical fire weather threats remain across southern Cali. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on my 7 Ps as we move forward. Winter storm watches and warnings throughout the Northeast, all the way down to Pennsylvania, into the Pokey. We have winter storm watches for western and northwestern Montana, southern Utah, and the South Sierras. Hello! The snow you've been missing is coming. It's coming. Heavy early season snowfall paralyzes southeast France. 1/3 of a million homes left without power. Holy mackerel. We know you use cookies. And you probably also use bookies. Look at the size of me. Holy. The first substantial snow of the season paralyzed southeastern France on Friday, November 15th. The National Weather Service placed 11 departments on high alert for snow and ice. More than 30 centimeters. That's a foot. That's that much. Accumulated less than 24 hours near the Alps, with an astonishing 15 centimeters reported at the lower-lying Lyon airport. As of 9 a.m. Saturday, 2,200 technicians are still trying to restore power to 170,000 households. They probably got the power back on. But in challenging blizzard conditions, electricity has been, cut off. Not only that, as of Sunday, November 17th, some 2 meters of heavy snow has caused thousands of outages and made travel almost impossible in Italy's South Tyrol region, as an avalanche rolls through. Who knew?
The incredible force of an avalanche flows through these quaint streets in the Italian Alps like an unstoppable river, sending rubble, branches, and tree trunks hurtling into buildings. Local resident Christian Gershler managed to capture this startling video just before he was evacuated from his home in Martel. Heavy snowfall in early November has resulted in a plague of avalanches here, rising the warning level to 4 out of the 5-part scale. Officials said on November 17th that numerous large and in many cases very large natural avalanches are to be expected.
Early on Sunday, one avalanche in the country's South Tyrol region struck the village of Martello, captured on video, which you just saw, damaging 2 homes. The village's mayor says Greta Thunberg is to blame. And the avalanche struck between 2,400 meters in ground and halted at 1,200 meters. No injuries were reported. Some 20 people have been taken to shelter in a nearby gym because they got totally fluxed, says Diamond. 2 skiers caught in avalanche die in Australian Alps. The first 2 deaths this year happened on the 9th of November. And that is now followed up by potentially more deaths as record-breaking snow falls in that northern Tyrol region. It is not going to let up, as you can see the heavy snow building. Also on the Spain-France border and throughout France and northern Italy and Norway is the big winner here, as well as the western regions of Greta Thunberg's boyhood home. And that's a boom. 3rd record tide enters Venice as Italy is hit with snow. We reported on that, and it's going to continue to get hit right up with more heavy snow in the Alps and rain. Venice has been flooded for the 3rd exceptional tide in a week, while winds and an out-of-season avalanche and other weather woes hit other parts of Italy. It's a schmiddly. Are you feeling tiddly? I am. Let's check the video.
Venice waiting for relief from days of what forecasters call exceptional flooding. The rising water crippling the lagoon city, forcing businesses and historic landmarks to close. The city actually under a state of emergency. It is the worst flooding Venice has seen in more than 50 years, causing hundreds of millions of dollars. Scott McLean joins us now from Venice with an update. And last hour we spoke, the tide was on its way in. What's changed in the last hour?
Hey, Michael, so we're about 15 minutes away now from high tide. You can see St. Mark's Square is completely flooded, but there's also a lot of tourists who are getting back to their normal business. A lot of businesses, cafes have opened for the first time because today the high tide, although it looks dramatic, is actually much less, significantly less than what it was earlier in the week. So it'll peak at 105 centimeters above sea level. Earlier in the week, it was 187 centimeters. So this is the door to St. Mark's Basilica. Imagine the amount of water we have now, about a meter. Add 80 centimeters onto that, and you've got a heck of a lot of water. And, you know, it bears reminding of just how ornate this basilica is. It is really one of the treasures, historical treasures of Italy. It is not the kind of thing that you want to see underwater or with water right up to the door. The problem here, Michael, is that they are expecting more water tomorrow. Not what we saw on Tuesday, but close.
Give him a thumbs up. I know it's CNN. What are you going to do? Venice flooding reveals a real hoax about climate change, framing it as either or. Now, the mayor of Venice obviously is paid off, but I mean, this triple, the trifecta flooding that we've seen in Venice is very similar, and it is not even eclipsing the record flooding of 1966. So the historic floods back in 66 were worse than these, but these, according to the mayor of Venice, these floods, ladies and gentlemen, are your fault. Back in 66, they were no one's fault, but this time around, little less than 66, they're your fault. Not natural climate variability, not Mother Earth, not Gaia, not the climate. It's your fault, you pricks. Damn it. I can't believe you people. Cricketball-sized hail hits the Sunshine Coast as other areas of Queensland evacuated from fires. It's a nightmare. You know what? If you live in Australia, it's all your fault, mate. Totally. Ask CF Gingara, Giles over there at CF Gingara on YouTube. He's been covering the bushfires. He's been covering the cricketball-sized hail, smashing cars and taking names. In fact, we've already reached out to Dr. Mauro Hassi, who has already dropped the bomb on the fact that the bomb is full of bum. And we're going to be talking about the beige reefs and the fact that the alarmists have been reporting on death of corals. Total nonsense. She went scuba diving out in the bay there and found out they were totally full of shite. Totally, we'll get there. Now, what's not full of shite is the cricketball-sized hail, which has been reported north of Brisbane as dangerous thunderstorms move across southeast Queensland. But the storms are unlikely to bring much rain or relief for the bushfire-ravaged parts of the state, Bureau of Meteorological Forecast Jay Hall says, because BOM is busy keeping them lit and taking names and probably directed energy weapons. Comes as an emergency warning is issued for large out-of-control bushfire in Toowoomba, of all names, with residents told to smoke a boomba and evacuate the Toowoomba. Now, some of the hail that fell in Glasshouse Mountains this afternoon was bigger than a shrimp on the barbie. More like a cricket ball in the arse. Or maybe, imagine if that hit your brain. It's insane. Queensland weather's wild and many of the cars are totally destroyed and fluxed. So, get a camel. Or maybe a roo. It's anybody's guess. Do it. Brisbane hail, severe storms smash parts of Queensland. The size of hail of a cricket ball has smashed cars, homes, and businesses north of Brisbane in a dangerous superstorm that left a trail of destruction. Now, no one in the last several years has been predicting that large hail would smash and destroy everyone's car. anywhere on the planet. Wait a minute. Wait, pretty much I think, did we do that? Anyway, seismic update, no quakes of note. Hawaii is getting the red dot. Mauna Loa, Kilauea are all on the way to erupting once again. Worldwide volcano news update, no quakes of note, no volcanoes of note. Reventador, 19,000. Intermittent puffs to 12,000. Nevados de Chelon, Fuego, Popo, Tucono, Sabancaya, Kiss, Mayaso, Marapi, and many others are puffing at normal levels. Mauna Loa volcano, Big Hawaii. Now, the Mauna Loa volcano remains calm, even though we've had a 4 or 5 magnitude we reported on days ago. The seismicity and deformation levels at Mauna Loa have not changed considerably over the past few weeks, but still remain elevated, so we're going to watch that closely. Also, Kilauea, the down deep caldera continues to swell, and this is according to Volcano Discovery and Cavert and other volcano-like areas that talk about that shit. Globalists openly admit to population control agenda, and that's a bad sign. Eugenics and population control are long-time hobbies of the financial elites. You don't believe me? We're going to give you facts where you can read up on it. In the early 1900s, the Rockefeller Foundation and the Carnegie Institute were deeply involved in promoting eugenics laws in the U.S. The laws led to the forced sterilization of over 60,000 Americans in states like California, and thousands of rejected marriage licenses. And then there's, well, you know the rest of the story. But I'm going to give you some facts in a minute. Hong Kong police move on university campus, threaten live rounds, retreat before growing flames as global unrest continues. Now, we were talking about Jennifer Morahasi on the reef. Let's all do a dab and go back to nature, shall we?
Throughout history, individuals have been crushed by the masses, particularly when their evidence does not concur with.
Oh, that didn't work out very well, did it?
My name is Scott Harrison.
We got it in commercial.
This is my wife, my son, and my one on the way.
Oh my God.
I lead an organization called Charity Water, and our mission is to bring clean water to everyone on the planet.
What are the odds?
I live in New York City now, but I didn't always.
I hate that.
I grew up in suburbia.
Let's see if we can just bypass this commercial. And if we can't, the important note to take away from here is that this video coming out from Dr. Jennifer Morahasi. Nope, we're going to get a 3-minute commercial here. So we will not be watching that either. But please check out the video on Beige Reef. I've reached out to Dr. Morahasi to come back on the show and discuss the misinformation. If you want to know about the facts about the Great Barrier Reef and what's actually happening on the reef, this 10-minute expose pretty much says it all. It says they're full of, which we knew the whole time and we've been reporting on. Now, the real reason to panic about China's plague outbreak is the Chinese government's response to it. Now, if you really look at the data, there's really no uptick in plague. The plague has been lingering for decades in many regions around the world. But based on the video that I put up and the paper that just came out about the fact that solar minimums and cosmogenic effects can cause pandemics to explode, especially during solar minimas, grand solar minimas, and then slightly after that, in the uptick of the solar max, is when the explosion occurs. That means in the next 3 to 5 years, pandemic is coming. And that's the real reason why we should not be obfuscating from the truth. We should be preparing rather than scaring. Now, the vote to federally legalize marijuana is coming next week. A key congressional committee plans to hold a historic vote on a bill to end the federal prohibition of marijuana next week. 2 sources with knowledge of the soon-to-be-announced action said. Puff, puff, pass. The legislation sponsored by House Judiciary Committee Chairman Gerald puff puff past Nadler, Democrat, New York, would remove cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act. Not only that, he would also set aside funding to begin repairing the damage of the war on drugs, namely the millions of people that are addicted to opiates as a result. Now, this is all due to collusion from your own federal government and the pharmaceutical companies that are not here to heal you. They're here to take all of your fucking money. Now, the programs such as job training, legal aid for people impacted by prohibition enforcement, and other things would be awesome if this actually passes. Not only that, people like me that have multiple felonies for growing pot and never selling it, well, we would be allowed to buy guns again. That'd be nice. The proposal, the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement, or MORE Act, would also provide for the resentencing and expungement of records for people previously convicted of cannabis offenses, and would shield immigrants from being denied citizenship because they got good weed. Hello. I can't wait. The Flat Earth conspiracy is spreading around the globe. Does it hide a darker core? Yeah. They're all fucking idiots. Hello. Now, you want to know some facts? Let's talk about the Club of Rome. Spawned in 1972 by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. A report for the Club of Rome's project on the predicament of mankind came out in 1972. I'm going to share you the free PDF. You want to stay up all night and find out where all the nonsense began? This is a good place to start. Now, this group, let me see if I can get to the facts here. In April 1968, a group of 30 individuals from 10 countries, scientists, educators, economists, humanists, and rich people that control the world, gathered at the Accademia dell'Inzia in Rome. Out of this meeting grew the Club of Rome, an informal organization that has been aptly described as the people that are slowly killing you. Hello. Read more in the hundreds of pages that follow. It's actually 211. It's pretty easy. Now, chemtrails much? Probably not. Cosmic rays and contrails. But I digress. Project Storm Fury, one of the top facts why geoengineering has been happening forever and they're controlling the weather, was a failure. The ambitious experimental program from 1962 to 83 claimed in the early 80s that they could control the weather. But the lack of response on the other days and the interpretation to be the result of faulty execution and seeding of poorly selected subjects and other shite, the results have come into question as early as the mid-80s. And the facts are that the cloud seeding, which I know is false, and watch why I say it's a waste of millions of dollars because it's happening right now, has little prospect of success. They knew this as early as the 80s because hurricanes contain too much natural ice and too little supercooled water. And that the positive results initially inferred from this experiment called Storm Fury stem from an inability to discriminate between the expected results of human intervention and the natural behavior of weather. That sounds like global warming. So read more about the facts if you want to be unindoctrinated. Leonids' meteor shower will soon light up the sky. And here's how to watch. Go outside and look north by Leo. Hello. That's why it's called the Leonids. Now, preparewiththeranch.com, preparewiththeranch.com. This is our My Patriot Supply Preparedness store where you can get long-term food storage, lasts up to 25 years on your shelf. It's not the Amazon store. That's at amazon.com/Oppenheimer Ranch Project. But all the links are below in the description box. And if you're one of the thousands of people that still don't know where that is, you should be ashamed of yourself for not asking someone for help. Because at some time in the future, we are all going to need to ask for help. Soon. Sooner than later. It's not a question of when. It's a question of how soon. Preparewiththeranch.com. And that's a boom. Thanks to all of our one-time donors. Thanks to all of you that went over to Electric View this morning and watched the interview with Monty. He's one of the hardest guys to get. And we had a really candid 3+ hours of some of the most incredible scientific breakthroughs that are happening in your lifetime. And we talk about them so nonchalantly, it's hilarious. We're talking about the transmutation of elements. We're talking about the end of classical physics, the end of the standard model of cosmology, the end of standard chemistry and lattice structures and bonding, and the structure of an atom. It basically rewrites all of history. The experiments coming out of the Safire project are the most groundbreaking scientific discoveries of your lifetime. Every single penny spent on a collider, that Large Hadron Collider, billions upon billions of dollars do not compare to 5 seconds of the Safire project reactors experiment. These are facts, and they're big booms. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out thunderbolts.info. Check out the Safire project, Safire. Go out on a limb. Think big. And that's boom.